Good morning, YouTube. It's your boy X-Man 1991 coming to you back again with another video. It's time to reveal my top 20 TV shows that premiered in 2004. This is one of the two lists of this year that I have yet to reveal, or maybe three. I still got to reveal my top 10 racing games, and of course my top 20 albums that came out in 2004. But we're not going to waste any more time. Let's just get this shit out the way. But first things first. Canadian actress Pamela Hayden announced that she is retiring from voice acting after 35 years. Pamela Hayden is known for voicing Milhouse Van Houten, Jimbo Jones, Rod Flanders, and many other characters from The Simpsons since its beginning in 1989. She also did the voice of Douglas McNagan on Disney's Lloyd in Space. But I want to say thank you, Pamela Hayden, for being our Milhouse for the past 35 years. You will forever be our Milhouse. But the question is, who is going to voice Milhouse now that Pamela Hayden has retired? We don't know yet. I will keep you guys updated on that. Oh, hold on. I got to give Pamela Hayden the 3 claps. She deserves it for being our Milhouse for 35 years. And The Simpsons' 35th anniversary is a few weeks away, December 17th. But I'll keep you updated on who will be Milhouse's new voice actress. But thank you, Pamela Hayden, for 35 years of your amazing career. She's not dead, she's just retiring. But anyway, here are my top 20 TV shows that premiered in 2004. Number 20, Method and Red. Beanie G94 knows that I was going to put Method and Red on this list. I'm not going to talk much about Method and Red because I've already talked about it in my top 20 shows from Fox. We never knew that my favorite hip-hop duo would get their own sitcom. And it sucks that this show didn't work out the way we thought it would. Why I can't put Method and Red higher than 20? Because it's the shortest running show on this list, lasting for 9 episodes out of the 13 that were made. If these niggas at Fox would have trusted Red and Meth and the crew and let them control the show the way they wanted to control it, Method and Red would have lasted for 3 or 4 seasons instead of 9 episodes. Method Man also wanted the show to fall into the footsteps of other Fox sitcoms that was recorded in front of a single camera without the use of a laugh track. Shows such as Malcolm in the Middle, The Bernie Mac Show, and The Arrested Development, which Meth was a fan of at the time. And it sucks that it never got released on DVD. So I doubt those last 4 episodes of the first season will ever see the light of day. Fox did this show dirty. But the show was still funny, even though it didn't last long. Fox also did this show dirty. Number 19, Quintuplets. This show was about 2 parents sharing their experience as they parent 3 quintuplets. The show premiered on Fox the same day Method and Red did, the day before my 13th birthday, June 16, 2004, and ran until January 12, 2005, lasting 1 season and 22 episodes. I feel like the WB should have picked up Quintuplets after Fox canceled it. But it was still a good show, even though it didn't last long. I enjoyed that Wednesday night summer lineup from Fox in 2004. That 70s show, Quintuplets, The Simple Life, and Method and Red. Quintuplets was a good show, but Fox did it dirty. Number 18, Shorties Watching Shorties. This show was about a pair of two babies voiced by comedians Nick DiPaolo and the late Patrice O'Neal as they watch animated versions with audio of comedians doing their stand-up routines. In the earlier episodes, baby Nick and baby Patrice would sit down and watch TV at their crib, and then later on in later episodes, they will go around the city. This show ran for 14 episodes, but 13 of them aired on Comedy Central from April 28th to December 16, 2004. It's one of Comedy Central's short-lived animated shows, along with Kid Notorious, Freak Show, and Lil Bush. Number 17, Power Rangers Dino Thunder. This was the 12th incarnation of the Power Rangers franchise, with the late great Jason David Frank returning as his character Tommy Oliver. Not only his character Tommy Oliver was a doctor, but he was also the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. This show ran for 39 episodes on ABC Family as well as Jetix on Toon Disney from Valentine's Day to November 20th, 2004. It was the predecessor of Power Rangers Ninja Storm and the successor of Power Rangers SPD. We celebrated 20 years of this show a few days ago. Number 16, Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. This show stars fictionalized and animated versions of the Japanese pop rock group Puffy Amiyumi, who are still together, by the way. Puffy Amiyumi also did the theme song to Teen Titans. It ran for 3 seasons and 39 episodes from November 19, 2004 to June 27, 2006. And it also aired during the City era of Cartoon Network, along with another show that premiered the same year that is on this list, which we will get to in a minute. Number 15, Justice League Unlimited, another show that premiered during the City era of Cartoon Network. We all know Justice League Unlimited was the sequel to the original Justice League. Justice League Unlimited premiered 2 months after the original Justice League ended, July 31st, 2004, and it ran until May 13, 2006. To be honest, I like Justice League Unlimited better than the original Justice League, to be honest. And of course, it was part of the Saturday Night Toonami lineup. And the theme song still slaps 20 years later. Number 14, Veronica Mars. This show stars Kristen Bell as the title character. This show ran for 2 seasons on UPN from September 22nd, 2004 to May 9, 2006, months before UPN and the WB merged into the CW. Then it ran for a 3rd season on the CW from September or October 2006 to May 22nd, 2007. 8 years or 12 years after the show ended on the CW, the 4th season streamed on Hulu in July 2019. As of now, there is no plans for Hulu to order a 5th season of Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars is definitely in my top 10 teen drama shows list. I have it at number 6. Number 13, Megas XLR, another show that premiered on Cartoon Network during the City era. Or it premiered during the, let me see. Megas XLR premiered on May 1st, 2004, during the last 2 months of the Powerhouse era and lasted until January 15, 2005, lasting for 2 seasons. The show was canceled due to low ratings. Despite of the low ratings, Megas XLR did receive positive reviews. And it was ranked at number 4 on TuneZone's Tunes of the 2000s Top 5 Cartoon Network Originals. The pilot episode, Low Bro, was shown in 2002 during the Cartoon Network Cartoon Weekend Summerfest. It was also determined for Megas XLR to be part of the Cartoon, but we all know the brand Cartoon discontinued in 2003, a year before the show premiered. Cartoon Network kind of did the show dirty. I feel like Megas XLR is underrated. Number 12, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. This show was about a pampered yet spunky dog named Brandy and a hyperactive rabbit named Mr. Whiskers who gets stuck in the Amazon rainforest, lasting for 2 seasons and 39 episodes from August 21st, 2004 to August 25th, 2006. It only ran for 2 years and 2 seasons. Kaylee Kuko did the voice of Brandy, and of course, the legend himself, Charlie Adler, did the voice of Mr. Whiskers. Sherry Shepard was also on this show, as well as Tom Kenny. But yeah, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers should have ran longer than 2 seasons. Another underrated Disney Channel show. Number 11, The Batman. The Batman is definitely one of the most underrated Batman shows. It also premiered during the golden age of Kids WB before Kids WB went downhill. It ran for 5 seasons and 65 episodes from 9/11/2004 to March 8th, 2008. The theme song for the first 2 seasons still slaps 20 years later. When the show used to air reruns on Boomerang, they only aired the first 2 seasons. But yeah, The Batman was definitely a good show, especially during the golden age of Kids WB. Now it's time for my top 10 shows that premiered in 2004. Number 10, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, another show that premiered during the City era of Cartoon Network. This show we all know was created by Craig McCracken, who's known for creating the Powerpuff Girls. While the Powerpuff Girls was still on the air, Cartoon Network asked Craig McCracken to create another Cartoon Network show, which he did, which was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends ran for 6 seasons, from August 13, 2004 to May 3rd, 2009. I was devastated when Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends ended. It was one of the last good shows that Cartoon Network had before the channel completely went downhill. Foster's was definitely a good show. And I heard they're coming out with a new Foster show coming soon to Cartoon Network. I'm not sure what the name of the show is, but I just hope it's good as the original. Number 9, Phil of the Future. Phil of the Future is one of the most underrated Disney shows. It ran for only, 2 seasons? From June 18, 2004 until 2006. Another show that Disney Channel did dirty. I'm glad Gamer.com did put Phil of the Future on their list of underrated Disney shows. I believe they put it at number 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's in my top 5 most underrated Disney shows list too. I got Lloyd in Space at number 5, Phil the Future number 4, The Weekenders number 3, Eva Stevens number 2, and Fillmore number 1. Phil the Future should have ran longer than 2 seasons. Number 8, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. One of the last good sitcoms during the good old days of Nickelodeon. Ned's Declassified is about the adventures of Ned Bigby with his best friends Moose and Cookie at James K. Polk Middle School in California. It ran from September 12th, 2004 and ran until June 8, 2007. It debuted part of the Teen Nick Sunday night block on Teen Nick on Nickelodeon. The original pilot episode aired on September 7, 2003, and it was ordered to be a series by Nickelodeon in early 2004. The series ended with a 1-hour TV movie as the series finale. I love Ned's Declassified. It was definitely a good show. One of the last good sitcoms on Nickelodeon. Along with this show, number 7, Unfabulous. This show stars Emma Roberts as the role of Annie. The show premiered the same day Ned's Declassified did, September 12, 2004, lasting until December 16, 2007. Unfabulous was created by Sue Rose, who's known for creating Pepper Ann and Angela Anaconda. Unfabulous was definitely an underrated show. I don't think the show is streaming on Paramount Plus, but every now and then it does come on Pluto TV. The theme song still slaps 20 years later. Let me see who did the theme song to Unfabulous. I believe it was Emma Roberts who did the theme song. No, Jill Sobelay did the theme song to Unfabulous. But it was still a good show, though. Number 6, Drake and Josh, another Nick show that premiered during the good old days of Nickelodeon. 2 years after the Amanda Show ended, Drake Bell and Josh Peck and Nancy Sullivan reunited on this show, created by that sick bastard Dan Schneider, running for 4 seasons from January 11, 2004 to September 16, 2007. And it also had 2 TV movies. One of them was the Christmas movie, the Merry Christmas Drake and Josh. There's nothing more I can say about Drake and Josh. This was another good sitcom during the good old days of Nickelodeon. Drake and Josh pretty much reminds me of Kenan and Kel, to be honest. I always preferred Drake and Josh as the white version of Kenan and Kel. For example, my favorite episode was season 2, episode 1, The Bet. It was the one where Drake and Josh have a bet that Josh can give up video games more than Drake can give up junk food. And if one of them loses, one of them has to dye their hair pink. It reminds me of my favorite episode of Kenan and Kel, Who Loves Orange Soda, where Kenan and Kel have a bet that Kel must go 1 week without drinking orange soda. And if one of them loses, they have to sing the national anthem in front of all the Rigby's customers wearing a lady's nightgown. That was funny as hell. That's what that episode of Drake and Josh the Bet reminds me of. That's why I always preferred Drake and Josh as the white version of Kenan and Kel. And we all know the theme song was written and performed by Drake Bell. This theme song still slaps 20 years later. Now it's time for my top 5 shows that premiered in 2004. Coming in at number 5. So you want to be a player, but your wheels ain't fly. You gotta hit us up to get a pimped out ride. You got to pimp my ride. Mm-hmm. Damn right. You got to pimp my ride. Y'all are probably asking, where is Pimp My Ride on your list? Well, here it is in my top 5. One of the last good shows during the good old days of MTV. Of course, this was about fans getting their rides custom made. And of course, the show was hosted by the legend himself, X to the Z Xzibit. Pimp My Ride, like I said before, actually gained Xzibit's popularity. Because Xzibit is definitely one of the most underrated MCs. The show ran for 4 seasons from March 4th, 2004 to December 30th, 2007. Pimp My Ride was definitely a good show. It's also in my top 15 shows from MTV. Number 4, Laguna Beach. Another good reality show, part of the good old days of MTV. Laguna Beach ran from 2004 to 2006, and then after the show ended, they created a spinoff called The Hills. It follows 8 teenagers from the small coastal city of Orange County. That's what the show's about. It premiered on September 28, 2004, lasting until November 15, 2006, for 3 seasons and 43 episodes. Wow. I definitely enjoy Laguna Beach. It was definitely a good show. And the theme song was written and performed by Hilary Duff called Come Clean. It's off her second album, and she put it as the Laguna Beach theme song. Lauren Conrad, Kristen Calavari were on this show, and then they went on to be on The Hills, which was a spinoff to Laguna Beach. Now it's time for my top 3 shows from 2004. 3, 2, and 1. Number 3 is definitely going to surprise you because you had no idea that this show premiered in 2004. Even though the company existed in 2002, it didn't have a TV deal until 2004. Coming in number 3, I have TNA Impact Wrestling. Yeah, y'all didn't know TNA premiered in 2004, did you? It did. And it's the only show on my list that is still airing 20 years later, which is why I have it in the top 3. Just like SmackDown, for the past 20 years, TNA Impact has found its home on various networks. It ran on the Fox Sports Network on Fridays from June 4th, 2004 to May 27, 2005. Then it aired for a short time on Urban American Television webcast from June 24th to September 16th, 2005. Then, of course, it ran for 9 years on Spike TV from October 1st, 2005 to Christmas Eve, 2014. Then it aired for a short time from January 7th to December 16, 2015 on Destination America. Then it aired on Pop from January 5th, 2016 to January 4th, 2019. Then it aired for a short time in 2019 on the Pursuit channel. As of October 29, 2019, the show is currently airing on Access TV and is also streaming on TNA Plus. The show first aired on Friday afternoons on the Fox Sports Network. Then when it moved to Spike TV, it aired on Saturday nights. Then it moved to Thursday nights. Then for a short time in 2010, it aired on Monday nights, competed with Monday Night Raw. in the revival of the Monday Night Wars. And we all know Monday Night Raw beat TNA Impact in the revival of the Monday Night Wars, which forced TNA to move back to Thursday nights. Then it aired on Spike during its final months on Wednesday nights. Then it moved to Friday nights on Destination America. Then it moved back to Wednesdays. Then it moved to Tuesday nights. Then it moved back to Friday nights, and now it's back on Thursday nights. Amazing that TNA Impact is still going 20 years later. I didn't start watching TNA until October 2007 when the show was extended to 2 hours. And I know a lot of people said that TNA was going to go out of business, but guess what? It's still in business 22 years later. And the show is still airing 20 years later. That's the only show that's on my list that is still airing 20 years later. Number 3, TNA Impact Wrestling. Number 2, Drawn Together. You can call this the animated version of the real world. You have 8 cartoon characters living in the same house. Drawn Together ran for 3 seasons from October 14th, 2004. From October 27, 2004 to November 14, 2007. Lasted for 3 seasons and 36 episodes. Yep, I was right. This show was definitely the animated version of The Real World and The Surreal Life and, of course, Big Brother. Prior to the series finale, it did come out with a movie in 2010. The show definitely had an amazing cast. I know Tara Strong voiced Princess Clara and Toot. And I know Cree Summer voiced Foxy Love. And of course, Adam Carolla voiced Spanky Ham. Those were the good old days on Wednesday nights on Comedy Central. South Park and Drawn Together. I definitely enjoyed this show because it was a parody of The Real World and the other reality shows that I just mentioned. Now it's time for my number 1 show that premiered in 2004. Number 1, Danny Phantom. Who's surprised that Danny Phantom is my number 1? I'm not surprised. I knew when I was making this list that I was going to put Danny Phantom in number 1. Just like when I was making my top 10 Nicktoons of the 2000s list, I knew Danny Phantom was going to be my number 1. After the success of the Fairly Odd Parents, Butch Hartman was asked by Nickelodeon to create another Nicktoon for the channel, in which he did, which was Danny Phantom. The show premiered after the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards on April 4, 2004, lasting for 3 seasons until August 24, 2007. I just hope in the future that Butch Hartman does bring Danny Phantom back, because the show still holds up 20 years later. And the theme song still slaps 20 years later. We all know the show is about Danny Fenton, who's just 14, and his parents build a very strange machine, and you all know the rest. Thank you, Butch Hartman, for 20 years of this amazing show. Out of this show, Tough Puppy and the Fairly Odd Parents, I gotta say Danny Phantom is the best show that Butch Hartman made for Nickelodeon. Danny Phantom is my number 1 GOAT show of 2004 and my number 1 Nicktoon of the 2000s. And so that wraps up my top 20 shows that premiered in 2004. Which of these shows on my list is your favorite? Which shows that I left out? Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for my next list. I will catch you tomorrow for my review of Bugs Bunny Rampage for the Super Nintendo and reminiscing 25 years of Vince McMahon getting arrested and sent to jail from the November 22nd, 1999 edition of Raw is War. Until then, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. No more talk.